Hello, everyone. Welcome to our fourth and final for this year, Valley Giving Guide 2022 training. Yay, thanks for being here. Thank you for navigating through the flood of ridiculous emails yesterday. I appreciate your grace and your persistence in finding the right link. So thank you. We're here today because the Valley Giving Guide website is officially open for early giving. So it's the leaderboard's not on or anything, but the background information is working, and it's time now in the next couple weeks for everybody to really get comfortable with how the website works for you, how you can use it to check donor data, use it to monitor your giving, to strategize prizes, all that good stuff. We like to give a couple weeks for you to get really comfortable with that before we tell donors, hey, for real, it's open. So kickoff is November 29th still. So we're calling this our soft open, and we'll show you all about it. Housekeeping, of course, everybody is muted. Please do not interpret that as us not wanting to hear from you. You are welcome to raise your hand if you have questions. You're welcome to throw questions into the chat. We try to address those as they come in or at the end of each section. And then, of course, when Liz and I are done talking, oh, thank you. I love the live transcription, and I always forget, and thank you, whoever always reminds me. I appreciate it. So we'll have time for questions at the end as well. Shall we get started? Okay. So today, we, as I said, are going to walk through the live Valley Giving Guide site. So we'll look at what you, as our nonprofit admin team, what you see as you log in and manage your giving on the backside of the website. And we'll also show you a little bit about the front side of the website and what donors see. And then we'll talk a little bit more about some donor ideas, donor engagement. And look at that. That's the end of the agenda as I have it written on my other screen. So lots of time for questions probably. Yay. And with that, I'm going to start with verbalizing our goal. Glenn Mitchell is on our call, and he is responsible for setting the goal for our collective fundraising efforts for 2022 at 3.5 million. I think we can get there. I'm excited to get there. I'm excited to support all of you as you do that work and we make sure the website works properly. But yeah, I think it's a great goal. It sets the bar high, gives us something to really work towards. And if we meet it, we should be proud of ourselves. And if we don't, I think we should still be proud of ourselves. This is going to be a great event, great year. To that end, please take a moment, if you haven't already, to internally set your fundraising goal for your organization or organizations. It's helpful to have a benchmark, something to shoot for. And then when you blow it out of the water in the first week, you can set another goal. All right. And with that, Liz is up. She's going to walk us through the valleyGivingGuide.org website and all the beautiful things it does to support our work.
All right. So I'm going to actually start today with the front end of the site that donors will see. And I apologize in advance that I sound a little off today. I got a lovely cold from my toddler, and I'm just going to try and power through, and hopefully everyone will be able to hear what I'm saying. So again, it's valleygivingguide.org. It's where all the fun action starts. There are so many different ways for folks to donate. We do recommend that you send them directly to your specific page. But if somebody ends up on valleygivingguide.org, they can actually just start typing in donations that they would like to see. It automatically fills in as soon as they start writing the name of an organization, and they can just keep going and just add as many nonprofits as they want. And if they're all done, they can hit next and enter their contact information and their payment information, and they're all set. If they want to browse around a little bit, they can do so by going through the categories. They can search for your nonprofit here, and then they can see your profile. If they would just like to donate to your organization, they can do it straight from your profile. So when you send a donor to your page directly, this is what they see. They see your logo, they see your picture or your video, and then they see the content that you've added. If they want to keep shopping around, they can click add to cart, and it'll save it in the shopping cart, and they can go in and edit the dollar amount to whatever they choose. Or if they just want to donate to your organization, then they can just fill it out directly on this page and click donate at the bottom. If they are interested in sharing on their social that they have supported you, they can do so using these share links at the bottom. They also have those links appear again after they donate so that they can share the word with folks in their networks that they've donated and supported you through the Valley Giving Guide. And they the big difference between the different kinds of donation options between donating directly on your page versus using the shopping cart is that if they go onto your page, they can add a note to their gift. So for some folks, they want to do that gift in memory or in honor of somebody. And if that is an important thing for them to do, then they need to go directly to your profile to add that information. If they do it through the shopping cart and they go through checkout and they miss that option, they can contact us and we can add that information in for them manually. But if they want to add that themselves, they do have to do it from your profile page. The shopping cart, the way it's set up, it would add whatever memorial note that they entered to every single donation. So that might not be their intention. So there is no option on the shopping cart to add a note. But from the shopping cart, they can delete a nonprofit, they can add another nonprofit, and then enter their information. And we do have the bonus pool roundup option again this year. So it automatically would add 5% to the total of their donation to go into the bonus pool, which is where all the matching comes from. It's an opt-in, so they have to select to do that. And then their credit card information. So if they make a mistake in any of this, maybe they typed in 1,000 instead of 100, or they rounded up when they didn't mean to, they can remedy that by contacting us. So they'll get all of that information in their tax receipt, which is automatically emailed. But if you hear from a donor who has a mistake like that, don't hesitate to reach out to us and we can work with the donor to correct that and process the refund or whatever needs to be happening with their donation. So that's always an option. Anonymous is here. In the tax receipt, we do tell them, I believe it's underlined and very clear that if they select anonymous, our tax receipt that they receive is the only acknowledgement that they will receive, and that your organization will not receive their contact information. And then there's a link for them to contact us if they checked it by mistake or if they misunderstood and they want to not be anonymous. And so we're happy to facilitate changing that for them as well. So if they have any issues during the checkout process, that is what we are here for. But again, there's so many different ways for them to give, and we want to make it as easy as possible. So that is really what donors will see. We do have an FAQ that explains what the bonus pool is and just some general questions about making a donation. So if they have any questions, they should hopefully be answered by the FAQ. But if they ask you a question and you don't know the answer, please let us know and we're happy to help answer any questions. The prizes page shows what prizes are available this year. And at the very bottom, it'll show who has won each of the prizes. So as the event goes on, we'll start awarding those prizes, and we'll be reaching out to the organizations that win via email and social media. And then of course it'll be listed here on the website, and all of those prize dollars are added at the very end. So after we've calculated the match, you will get your bonus money on there as well for those prizes. So we have the same categories as, or the same awards as last year, where there's most raised for each category, as well as most donors and most raised in each of the weeks, and then different golden ticket hours throughout as well. All of that is on the prize calendar in the Dropbox, or we have all of those dates listed here on the prizes tab as well. We're going to keep the NPO resources tab here throughout the event. So if you can't find the Dropbox, you can always come back here and click the link to the Dropbox. If you want to listen to the playlist of from Spotify that Greer put together, that link lives here. And then if you've missed a training or you just want to go back and watch the recording, the list of, or the link to the YouTube playlist is also on this page. So that's kind of your one-stop shop. If you need the Valley Giving Guide logo or any of the other materials that we've created, sponsor logos, any of that, it all lives in the Dropbox. So make sure you check that out. We have the sponsors all listed now on the website, and we'll be thanking them. But of course, we always appreciate it if you guys take any chance you can to thank the sponsors as well. So we couldn't do the match and the prizes and any of that without their generosity. So they're wonderful, wonderful partners for the Valley Giving Guide. And with that, I'm going to walk through now what the live site looks like for each of you on your dashboard. So you'll use the NPO login tab as usual. Yeah.
I'm just going to pause here for any questions.
Okay.
Does anyone have any questions about kind of the donor facing public page? This is not your only opportunity, but this is a good opportunity.
My only question, I read about the matching funds. I know last year I had a couple donors who were surprised and didn't understand why their donation was more. And when I read the explanation where it said add to your list, that seems like, I don't remember what the wording was last year, but I would think that that would be self-explanatory, that would it be above and beyond the donation that they'd given to the organization. So can you tell me, is that the same wording that you used last year, or did you tweak it?
Thank you, Jeannie. That's a perfect question. We did tweak it. So we've tweaked it in a couple ways. And actually, Liz, I think we have tweaked it since you have hit refresh on your screen. So if you wouldn't mind doing that.
Yeah.
Why can't I see you? There you are. Yeah, so we tried to clarify what that amount goes towards. And so we've clarified that that money is adding to the matching funds, which is exactly where it goes. So as you know, our sponsors make all of this happen. They cover all of the expenses of this event, and then they provide the funds for the matching at the end. But our sponsors, that's a finite number. And so we are hoping that our donors will be able to read and understand the messaging on this box, and will elect to check that box and add that extra. It's a 5% increase. So if you give $100, it's $5 more. And all of that goes into the matching fund bucket. And that's then what we turn around and use, like I said, which you probably can't see on Liz's screen. You might not be able to read it, but it's like the cherry on top. And so we're trying to help our donors really understand that that is not covering fees. There are no fees for their nonprofits. There are no fees for anybody. It's just extra matching money on top of their donation. And we've workshopped those words very extensively, and that is where we landed. So I'm hoping this year it's more clear. and it feels more like a positive, fun option for our donors. Because last year there was some feedback about it, so we wanted to make it feel good, because that's what it is supposed to feel like at the end of your donation process, is that you're proud of what you've done.
The only other question I have regarding this is, if, you know how everyone says always read the print, and a lot of people don't read the print.
Mhm.
If I didn't read the print, I would look at this and think, oh, they're just asking me to spend another $1 because it shows $1. They wouldn't think it's 5% when they read it. They would look and say, oh yeah, I'll add $1. And so I'm wondering if it would be better to take the $1 off.
That number changes, Jeannie, when you change your
Oh,
amount.
I see. That's because, so
So
it
if
won't
Liz,
show.
if Liz changes that, it's gonna change.
I see. Okay, that, so when they haven't donated yet, or if they'll have put in their amount and it'll show what that percentage is. Gotcha. Okay.
Yes. It
Thank
shows
you.
the actual dollar amount that is 5% of whatever they
That's
entered.
perfect. That's perfect. Thank you.
And again, these are reversible. So it's an opt-in this year instead of an opt-out. We got a lot of feedback about the opt-out situation. So now we're hoping to compel our donors, and that's where you all come in. The messaging from you to your donors is important around that particular piece, that it's adding to the greater good. The more money we get for matching funds, the more matching funds we have to match the donations, the higher the match percentage. And it's all very hypothetical and nebulous until the end, when we actually get to say this is a 10% match or whatever it's going to end up being. So it's kind of hard to explain, but that is our attempt. And it's meant to be fun and enjoyable. And if someone accidentally clicks that box and then they get confused about what it was, or they didn't intend to do that, we can reverse it easily. So if you hear from a donor, let us know. We can help reverse. You can help them call us together. They can call us, you can call us for them. Like, we can reverse it, not a problem. Any other questions about that, or anything else on the donor facing side for now? Okay.
Okay. Before I move on, I do want to hit one thing that I almost forgot. So as an example, if your organization has secured your own donor that would like to match whatever you raise, you can enter that information on your profile. And if you do that, it'll pop up here at the very top of your page, and it'll tell donors that you have this additional matching available for any donation that you get. And as you receive donations, it'll count down how much of that match is remaining. So you can check it in real time. Your donors will see it in real time as well. And you can use that to leverage more donations. And if you're having trouble finding that link for your page, if you just go to the Valley Giving Guide and search for your organization, that link in the URL bar, that is your direct link to your page. So it'll mostly be your name with some dashes in it, but just to make sure that you have the right thing, you can just check it by navigating to your page. If you want to use a QR code, you can create a QR code generator. Is just an easy thing to find on Google, and you just paste that URL in and it creates a QR code for you to use in different materials. Or if you want to include it, a short link, you can use bit.ly.com. Bit.ly lets you make a link that would say something more like bit.ly.com/Athena's Gem, and it would take folks directly to your page without them having to type in valleygivingguide.org/profile. So that is an option as well. And then on any of your social media posts, when you paste in the URL, it should automatically create a link into your page. So that is another way to get folks there as well. And then now I will go ahead and hop into the dashboard side of things. So when you log in, right now, you'll see that your page is active and that the event begins in 11 days. When the soft open is over and the official launch happens on the 29th, your dashboard will update to show you how many donors you've had and how much money you've raised so far right here on your dashboard. But until then, you can actually navigate to the donations tab, and that will show you any donations that you've already received. Sarah was in there testing things out the other day, so we're able to see her donation. You can download your report at any time. And that'll include all of the contact information for your donor. If Sarah had chosen to be anonymous, you would see anonymous donor here, but you would still see the amount that was donated. And then you can toggle live updates on or off. So I don't know why you would not want live updates, but in case you didn't, you could turn that off. And it would have to be updated again before you see donations as they come in real time. If you decide that you want to make any changes to your profile, you can absolutely do that at any time throughout the event. So if you wanted to change the wording on your page or try out some different pictures, you can come in and just edit it as usual at any point throughout the duration of the event. If you are looking again for that URL for your page, it's also listed here under giving page. So if you're in there making some edits, you can find that URL for your profile there as well. If you want to add a party, so this option lets you post the information for any kind of event that your organization might be hosting during the time period of Valley Giving Guide. So if you're having a special Valley Giving Guide launch, or you want to have like a cocktail hour or some other event where you can ask for donations, you can enter that information here and it'll actually populate on your profile. So if a donor is there looking at your page, they can see that you have this event coming up. And that's just another way that you can spread the word about it. Again, though, if they're already on your page, they're probably going to donate while they're there, but just another option to engage with your donors. And if you need to add anybody else from your organization to access this website, you can scroll down and click on users and send an invitation by email to anybody that needs to be able to log in and see what's going on with your donation. But do keep in mind that there are different permission levels. So anybody that you add to your organization will be able to see all of your donor contact information and dollar amounts and all of that as well. So is there any questions, Greer?
There are no questions in the chat. It feels sort of hauntingly quiet over there. Are there any live questions any of you would like to come off mute and ask?
I'm sorry, I'll ask another question again. I sent Liz an email, and maybe this is just easier than her having to answer the email. I did have help trying to do my my picture thing, my carousel, and she got it done. And when I looked at it, they're sideways. And I vaguely remember from one of the trainings that they said that there was certain types of pictures that worked better than others. But I'm wondering, I don't want to hurt her feelings and say they're sideways. I don't know if she just didn't check or what. So I was hoping I could just fix it. But when I went on this site and I looked over Liz's instruction that she'd sent me, it didn't say anything about how you could rotate a picture. Can you rotate it once it's on the carousel, or do you have to kind of start all over?
I believe that you would have to start over. But let me take a look and just see. See, this is a new computer, so I probably don't actually even have any pictures on it.
Well, it's funny because, and that was the other thing, you can see it when you open up. You can see it when you open up live, but I couldn't see the pictures when I edited it. So
I'm gonna hop out and just take a look directly.
see, it looks, now there it looks fine, but when you open it on live, it's crooked. Unless someone got in and fixed it. Those are the ones that were sideways. You had to kind of look sideways at them.
They look
Looks like
good to
it's
me,
good.
on the public page.
Oh, good. Well, maybe it, Huh. Okay, maybe I fixed it and didn't realize it.
Yeah, I'm not sure what happened, but it looks like it's working fine now. So
Thank you.
problem solved, I guess.
Yeah, you're glad we could help. I'm going to, there was a direct message to me, so I won't call out who did that, but thank you. It's a really good question. So the question is, I don't see my organization on the public page, but I know we registered.
That is a great question.
It is. And the answer is, if you have any requirements that haven't been completed on your dashboard, you're not going to see your public profile until those are all marked as complete. And since you're right there, Liz, would you show? Yeah.
Yeah, so when you're on that dashboard, these are all of the tasks. The required tasks, the profile content will automatically complete itself once you have completed all the required fields on your profile. But the other two, the IRS status active and donor thank yous, you have to come in here and manually check that yes, you have agreed. If you hover over here, it tells you that we strongly encourage participating organizations to acknowledge their donors with a personal, preferably handwritten thank you. So this is you saying that you are going to thank your donors. We want, everyone to have good feelings about donating through the Valley Giving Guide. And one of those things is getting a thank you. So you mark it complete saying, yeah, you're going to thank your donors. And the same for IRS status active. So we're double checking all of this, of course, but we want you to be an active participant in this and say that you've looked and your organization is up to date and approved by the IRS as a nonprofit or a government entity. So if that is all true, then you would hit mark this complete, and then your profile should be appearing on the live site.
And these are the things that are really important for everybody to check for your own organization. Those two that where you just have to hit the mark as complete hyperlink get missed, and your profile, as Liz explained, your donors won't see it if you haven't completed those tasks. So just like the person who asked this question, double check that you can find your organization, because if you can't, that probably means you have one more little thing to do. There are no other questions coming through for the chat. So Liz, I think you can continue.
Okay,
Oh.
Go for it.
Sorry, there are still, yes, Norma asked a question. Well, it says, is the second question on task supposed to be showing as complete? So there's a required profile content that should be showing as complete. And then there's a recommended profile content. That is also dated that October 15th deadline. Most organizations have the recommended profile content populated. Those are things like your a website or a Facebook or a Instagram link, some of those non-critical things that are nice to have on your nonprofit profile, but not necessary for participation in the event. Yeah, so the recommended is, it's recommended, but it's at your discretion or at your ability or at your resource level. If those are things you have, fill them in. If they aren't, it'll be okay. And if you need help with that, we can help. And there's another question in the chat. The categories are closed. We have sent those files to print, and that is the end on the categories. I sent an email about that. It was kind of a short deadline. So I'm sorry, and I will circle back offline about that if anyone needs to chat. I will say, if you don't like your category, it's gonna be probably okay because donors don't use those either. Those really fulfill our needs as a nonprofit to feel identified properly and seen properly, but our donors are gonna look you up by your name and they're gonna donate on your direct page that you, through the link or the QR code that you give them. So hopefully that's not gonna be the end of the world. Okay, oh, now there's all sorts of questions coming in the chat. Liz, why don't you continue and I'll read these and we can have another question answering session in a moment.
That was actually everything that I was going to walk through. So that is the perfect time to answer all of these questions.
Did you show the download button for the donor report?
I did, but I would be happy to share it again.
Yeah. This was a hot topic last year, kind of towards the end of the event. The download button for your donor reports is not, it's not like highlighted or circled or a different color. It's very subtle. So please just take note of where it lives so you don't panic when you're trying to pull that report. And of course, we're here to help. So
you'll go into your dashboard, go to the donations tab, and it's this nice little gray button nestled in the top right corner. And it will automatically start a download of an Excel file for you with all of your contact information for all of your donors, the dates, and all that other information.
Thank you, Liz. Jan has asked how to add their outside match. So if you could show that again, please.
Yeah,
if you wanted to do that on the YW page, Jan, we can help you just complete that task, get it off your to-do list if you're ready to do that.
Okay, so if you have one of those wonderful outside matches, you go to your profile and you would edit and scroll all the way to the very bottom, and there's a matching fund area. Do we have the dollar amount?
I do. So YW is 20,000.
And then you would save it. And if you go to the live page, it should be there now. Maybe it'll take just a minute.
Buddies.
There we go. And now you can see there's a $20,000 match available for the YW.
Yes, Jan, isn't that easy? And Jan, you can remove that if you don't want it listed there yet, but there it is. And then, like Liz said, as donors donate, that amount goes down, and it also shows you like the offset amount. So it shows how many donors have been motivated by that and how much is remaining. It's a really cool little equation at the top there.
Nice, thank you.
You're welcome. There was a question about a logo with a transparent background, and Liz answered that in the chat, but we'll just reiterate. The JPEG logos have the white background, but the PNG logos, PNGs, have transparent backgrounds. So if you need transparent, grab one of those. And Liz has made us
all the colors.
Yes, a veritable poo-poo platter of logo options. Oh, good. Shandel, your profile is showing up. I'm very glad because you were next on my list to try to address. Okay, there was a question about a check. If a donor wants to donate via check, the easiest way to give is to go online and give. If your donors are uncomfortable with that, they can mail a check made out to Valley Giving Guide, and send it to P.O. Box 603 in Walla Walla. We will need some indication either in the memo line if it's a check for one organization. We need to know which organization that is. If you have a donor, a lot of our donors want to give, you know, $1,000 and then they break it up around, you know, across 3 or 4 organizations. We can handle that as well via check. We just need that list and the amounts. Again, it's all much easier to do online and less susceptible to human error. So again, we drive our givers to give online. That's the best place for all of that information to be entered. But we do our best, and we can make any checks, any designations happen. And if donors have questions, we like to stay out of the middle of your relationship with your donors, but we're happy to help them. So if you feel like you want them to just talk to one of us, they can call the Blue Mountain Community Foundation office directly. Or of course, any of you are welcome to call us and we can help you with the answer to help your donor. And the same goes for if you have donors donating through like a donor advised fund that is not held with us, we can make that happen. We just need a list from them. Usually like a Fidelity or whomever, they'll just send the check to Valley Giving Guide. They don't do memos, they don't do anything, but the donor can send it separately to us and we can track those. And again, same with stock transactions as well. We can facilitate those. Kristen has a nice little process, and we're happy to give you that information if you know of a donor who likes to do that, or we can help the donor directly with what they need to do with their financial institution. Oh, thank you. Yes. P.O. Box 603 in Walla Walla. I will say they can make the check directly out to Valley Giving Guide. Yeah, maybe we'll. Once I stop talking, I can't type and talk, but once I stop talking, I will throw the full thing back in the chat so it's in one place and you can grab it out. Oh, and Kristen, our finance director, would like to remind everyone we can also accept donations of grain. That is a true statement. It actually is a thing that we do. Mary Campbell, good question. Are we charging a fee for people who donate by check? Who knows the answer to that question? Serious, come off mute. What's like my #1 rule about this year's event? Yes, Jan.
No fees.
No F words. There are no F words this year. You can say all the other really fun F words, but there are no fees. None. Thank you for asking, Mary. I say it every time, but it's true. I promise. No fees. Jan is asking a question. What happens to donations made before November 29th? Oh, okay. Oh, I see. Maybe you were a little late. Fun technology. Donations, the website is open now for early giving. The leaderboard is not turned on. So the donations are there. And I believe you can log in and see them in your the donor reporting. They are eligible for the match. They are not eligible for any prizes. They don't count towards any of the prizes. So, but donors may donate now. As soon as we kick off the event on November 29th, the leaderboard will populate, and so the donations will be visible there, and they'll be visible on your page as well, I believe. Are there anybody want to come off mute and ask a question?
I have a question.
Hi, Ruben. Yes.
Hi. Yeah, I'm curious how we would do if we have matching funds, how that's matriculated. Do we send that to Valley Giving Guide? Is that more of a tracking? I just wasn't sure about that piece.
Sure. So are you asking about outside matching funds? Like if you have secured a donor challenge, or are you asking
Right.
about the matching?
Yeah,
third
whatever
party.
the amount we put on our page.
So that is if you have a donor who says, hey, I want to give you $10,000 to use as an extra incentive. So we're calling those either a third party match or an outside match. And you can enter that on your through your dashboard on your profile down at the bottom there. And so that's kind of an outside relationship that we let, each organization manage. And then that count on the public facing page, it'll show that extra match. And so you can tell your donors, hey, we have this generous donor who has given us $10,000, but we have to raise $10,000 to get it. And it's and then motivate your donors to go in and give, and they'll see their donation actually like count down for those matching funds on your page.
But that's something we hang on to it.
Yes, the outside match doesn't come through us. That is between you and your donors. So it doesn't, it doesn't, you hang on to it.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Are there any other questions? Does anyone feel brave to come off mute and talk to me? Nobody? I'm not scary, I promise. Okay, I'm seeing some more questions in the chat. It looks like Liz is answering a lot of them. Oh, okay, Mary Campbell asked where you can get the information to share with the donor for those stock donations or the DAF donations. We can email that one off. I think we could probably put it in the Dropbox. I'm looking at Kristen there. She's coming off mute. She'll answer that question.
Hi there. I did. I responded to Mary in the chat. Hopefully it went to everyone. And what we'd like to do is have the donor contact us directly, and we will generally we provide the information directly to their broker. Their broker can also contact us directly, and then we shepherd the donation through the receipt and sales process. All donations of stock and grain are sold immediately, and it's those cash proceeds that you're receiving. And that's the story. So basically it's contact me. Does that do it for you, Greer?
It does. I know where to find you, and now everybody else does too.
Yes, I know. Fun.
Does anybody have a party scheduled or like an idea, like to do something? I feel like this is the first year where we might actually see some of those happening. I'm wondering if anyone feels brave enough. You don't have to talk to me, but if you would share with the group. Any thoughts about that? I happen to know of one, but I don't see the person who's planning it on this Zoom. So I can't make them feel uncomfortable and call them out in front of everybody. Nobody? Well, I have an idea. Oh, well, Shandel, come off mute and tell us. So Shandel is PAWS. It's the Pendleton Animal Welfare Shelter. This is why you should come off mute and talk about it yourself. I know it's PAWS. So she says that they're checking on people on doing a party in Pendleton at OMG Burgers and Brew with the servers wearing puppy and kitty ears. And I'm sure you could have QR code like table tents.
Yes,
at
we
your event.
actually.
Hey, there
have
you
those.
are.
Yeah, I'm sorry. My child just came home from school and I have 4 dogs. So there's lots of barking and chaos. So yeah, but that's our plan is usually the restaurant does a percentage of proceeds for all sales go to the shelter. So we'll total those up and do them as a donation, and then we'll do the QR codes on the tables.
That's awesome. That's really exciting.
Yeah,
and if you
thank
take
you.
pictures during the event, then you can use them on your page
Yes, we will definitely do that. Thank
and
you.
share them with us. We always like to see fun pictures.
Yeah, and you can see I have a dog right behind me. So
can
when
see it.
when I say my whole life is animal rescue, it is chaos.
You're really speaking our language.
Oh, okay, good.
We totally, everything that you just said resonates with Liz and me and Kristen in our office. We get it. So
Good to know. Thank you.
And in fact, you inspired me to just look down and check to make sure that my child was picked up from school today because I'm not the one doing it.
Right.
Okay. Yeah, so my idea is to have like a collective New Year's Eve party with everybody, all the nonprofits. And we can get together and we can all have our own little QR code situations, but then we have fun and we get to party together and like finish out the event collectively and like hit our goal and then like celebrate together. It's probably not going to happen this year, but like future years, that is it's brewing in here. If someone wants to use that idea though this year and invite us, you know, we'd probably come. Maybe. Oh, good question. Yes, Jeff Randall, what is our close date? Well, it happens to be New Year's Eve, which is why I think we should have a party. It's New Year's Eve at 11:59. So as soon as the clock rolls to 12, the website is automatically shut down. There's no more giving there. And then we do honor, you know, checks that come in that are, if they're postmarked by December 31st, we honor them through, you know, the next week. 10 days is usually all it takes to get all of the stragglers in. But yes, the official close date is December 31st.
I had to take a medical call and I might have missed this. I saw it further up in the chat line and then I got the call and I had to take it. But are you charging a fee for checks as opposed last year? I thought there was a fee.
Jeannie, it's almost like you're just like mind melding with us, because I did want to mention again here now for everybody, there are no F words. You can say any of the other F words, Jeannie. You guys, this is funny because I don't think Jeannie swears. But Jeannie, there are no fees.
Am I crazy? Was there last year for checks?
I mean, yes,
Thank you. I just thought maybe I was having a senior moment.
you are not. We want to incentivize online giving. We tried to do that last year by saying, oh yeah, we'll take checks, but we're going to add a processing or administrative fee to do it because it takes a lot more work than the website does for our staff, and processing hundreds of checks for all of our wonderful nonprofits is hard. And the room for error is exponentially greater than what happens online. So we are still trying to encourage and incentivize online giving, but we are not doing that through any sort of fee this year because it just didn't feel good. It just made everything uncomfortable. And even though the fee was offset by the match, didn't matter. The word fee is no longer in our lexicon. No F words. Any other questions? We could be done. Let me look at my agenda actually before I say that. Who's in charge here? Liz?
Certainly not me. No, no, no.
I guess, yeah, let's touch on some donor engagement just really quick. Liz talked about all of it. Share your unique URL. If you don't know how to find that inside your profile on the backside, go to your public facing page and grab it off the top. If you need help with that, let me know. Please try to be positive with your donors about that opt-in for the match. I did like a very, very rough calculation of if we don't raise any more money for the matching funds and we meet our 3.5 million goal, the base match will be 2%. Again, that's super hypothetical, but like also we would like our donors to add to that pot so that every donation is matched. Every donation is matched so that every donation is matched at a really great percentage that's not 2%. That's more like 20% is what I would like to see. So positive messaging around that, please. Liz, did you talk about the social share and the promoter credits?
I talked about the share buttons. I did not talk about the promoter part. Would you like me to? Yes. So a fun feature of our Giving Day site is that after somebody makes a donation, they have the opportunity to share that they have made a gift out with their network. Let me see if I can find it here. Oh, I can't find it without making a donation. But essentially, it's at the very end after they check out, there will be the option to share that they have made their gift. They can do that through email. They can do that through Facebook. I believe Twitter is another option. So then anybody who receives that post and clicks to donate, they will get credited as having inspired that person to donate. They'll get a notification that says, hey, thanks to your share, this organization received a donation. And they don't know who it was, they don't know the amount, they just know that somebody used their link to make a donation. So it's a cool way for them to be a part of things and really champion your organization. And then as a nonprofit, when you log into your donation report, you can actually see that promoter credit as well. So if you wanted to, thank that donor for inspiring 5 or 10 or 15 other people to donate, you can see all of that data, and you can do that. So you can have like maybe a contest with your board to see which board member can, promote it and get the most folks to donate. So that is something that they can do after they donate, and it looks really similar to the buttons that just appear on the actual page. It'll essentially look like those share buttons. So that is an option that we definitely want to encourage you to encourage your donors to use, and make some fun competition there amongst your supporters.
Yeah, and again, it's just another tool. So the designers who built this website are professional fundraisers. And so they built in all of these ways to add layers of how you engage your people. So Liz touched on it here. This is a really great thing to challenge your board, or if you have a major giving circle, or if you have, a committee that's very active and engaged. Like, give them a little challenge, see who can inspire the most donations based on their donation. Make it fun for them. And then say thank you to them, because you can actually see, you'll see the number of donations and the dollar amount that they inspired. And that's really cool data to have to use for your stewardship. So again, those little tools are built into almost everything in this website. So just think strategically as you look through all those tools, please.
And related to that, if you want to use a bit.ly link or a QR code, some websites will make you like sign up for an account, but others have a lot of tracking tools that you can utilize. So if you want to send out an email with one link and a QR code somewhere else, you can actually go back in later and see how many people use those links or use those codes. So it's a great opportunity to see just kind of the normal things that you're already doing, the emails that you're sending, or the events that you're having, the impact that it has. So it's a great opportunity to test out some different things and try different ways of reaching your donors and see which ones are working.
So there's a question in the chat about bringing checks to BMCF that have been made out to your organization. And the answer to that is no, we are not doing that. We did that when we had access to Jeff Bezos's money, and it was the middle of COVID and everyone was freaking out, and the match was 100%. But last year and this year, we aren't able to do that. So if a donor makes a check out to you or brings it into you, made out to you, just deposit it and say thank you. If you're comfortable navigating, maybe they could void that one and write a new one made out to Valley Giving Guide. That's great. Do that. We are not able to facilitate that, and any checks that we get that are made out to a different nonprofit other than Valley Giving Guide will let you know and probably send it on to you, or let you handle that donor relationship privately without us and tell us what to do after that. But that's a really good question. I'm just gonna go with y'all get a prize. Jeannie, Shandel, Kaylin, Tiffany, Jan, and Emily. That was 6 prizes. Liz is gonna I'm gonna have a talking to after this.
There goes all the matching money.
I know. Yes, that $60 in prizes. Okay, with that, I'm gonna end our show for you for today. And I can hang out for a couple minutes. We had until 3:30 booked. If anyone wants to stay on and ask direct questions, get any help, we could just turn the playlist on so you're ready for the same question at the nonprofit debrief. Those of you who are still on, that's a very, not even a hint, that's just a cold, hard fact. I will be asking. Oh, thank you all. Thanks for being here.